Welcome to the Wednesday Call Live. Now let's hear it for our guest host, Andy Riddle.
What's up, the Alliance Nation? Welcome to the TWC. Super honored and humbled that Andy and Jane asked us to do the call, especially right after our national convention. So there's a lot of pressure on us to perform after, when you go on stage at conference, usually someone says to you, hey, it's been great so far. Don't you be the reason to screw it all up. But we have great momentum coming out of national convention. So the four of us are going to do our best not to screw up that momentum that we have coming out of national convention. Not to put any pressure on the guests we have on the call today, but that's how I feel, at least. Like we can't screw it up. It's one of those cool things. It's having the momentum that we have as a company right now. It's so much fun. It's been the hard work of a bunch of people to grind and kind of push through to create this momentum, this wave that we're on. And then we hit national convention last weekend that just made the wave go up 10 feet more, and to ride that wave. And we want to help some of you guys jump on that wave and ride it, because when you have momentum, everything gets easier, everything grows faster. And we want to help you do that. And it's been the hard work of a lot of guys. I mean, Robbie was going over how much each organization's up, the company's up. I want to start listing names of people that have a big part of that momentum and the big part of the growth. But I know I'll leave one out, and then they'll be super mad at me. But as a whole, a company of the Alliance, we are on fire. And and I'm just telling you, if you've been thinking about like jumping all in or not sure and on the fence, and Andy always says, are you leaning more in or are you leaning more away? I would say get leaning in and not stop leaning in and jump in, because when a company has momentum like we have, there's no better time to get all in, to get all committed and really just go after things. We have another conference coming up in about 90 days. It's Stage to Success. It's going to be at the corporate office, the mothership. And if you haven't been there, you need to go there and just see everything that you have available to you as being part of the Alliance, and be around the Alliance family. I mean, I've never felt the company in the 18 years I've been here being as tight as we are right now, the momentum we have right now, as a company as a whole. And we need help, and we want a lot of help with you guys to help continue this momentum and really carry it in all the way through 2025. And really, they've been talking the last couple of weeks. If you jumped on 10xing as a company in 2025, the momentum we have right now is leading to that, and we want you to be part of it. Get your piece of that pie. So, but today I got some of my buddies on here that I know are committed to helping us do this, and they're committed to 10xing their businesses, and we want to talk a little bit about what they're doing. The topic that we're talking about today is how to really just take it from being taking yourself from being a salesperson into being a business owner, or being self-employed to a business owner. And I've always learned that from the book Robert Kiyosaki wrote, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, where he talks in that book about the cash flow quadrant. He later wrote another book on just the cash flow quadrant, an entire book on it. But it's, sometimes those book guys just like writing books to make more money. But it's in the first one too. So whichever one you read, but it's a great book, and it really will spell out, and a lot of the stuff that I talk to with my guys is from that book, and the way that you can build a big business and really help to build a business. Because a lot of people get tricked, being that they're self-employed, thinking they have a business, and they have a business, but it's a self-employed business. We want to build it into a business where it grows regardless of what you do. You have a team of people, you have a team of working for you, a common goal, and really building something for the future for you and your family. And so we want to kind of go into that, and I want to work with some of these guys on what they're doing and how we're going to really do that to build a business. So some of the things I pulled out, I got some props I'm going to hold up and show you guys, but it's from the game Cash Flow. Robert Kiyosaki made a board game called Cash Flow. And the board game, but there's these things that you start off with this sheet and you write on there your profession. You write on there your income, your debts, your liabilities, your assets, your expenses, and you're basically trying to take what your situation is into becoming a business owner. And by definition, in this game, when you play the board game, you become a business owner when you're passive residual income, not income reliant on you selling. So in our business, if you're a full-time agent with us, it's not and your personal production is not what they're looking for to build a business. Now you need personal production, and the game teaches you this. Your personal production is going to help you build that business. Andy has created a sheet just like this. It's on NA University. It's called the Independent Financial Engine, that you can go out there and put your own information in there and really send it to someone that knows what they're talking, your growing up line, and they can really show you and help you build that income or build that passive income quickly. And in the game, you get to pick a profession. So you can be a pilot, you can be all these different things, and you pick different ones, and you get the incomes of them and you get the liabilities of them. But in the real life, you just put your stuff on there and you play the game with your information, you know. If it's shocking to some of you guys out there, there's a doctor, so you could be a doctor if you want to, and there's also a janitor. One makes way more than the other. These are like the two extremes. If you're shocked that a doctor makes more than a janitor, sorry to break that news to you, but they do. But keep in mind, the doctor has a lot more expenses. He's got a Mercedes, he's got a Lamborghini, he's got a big house, and the janitor does not. So the janitor has less expenses. So to build a business in this game, they talk about getting your residual income higher than your liabilities. So the higher you can get now the trick is a lot of people in this business think in the game, like when they get their passive income past their liabilities, they think they're out of the rat race. They think they're in there. The one trick in the game is when you get out of the rat race and you flip it over, it says multiply your residual income by 100 times. And it's saying is once you've done it once, you know how to do it 100 more times. So you still got a long ways to go, but you know how to do it. So it's giving you the idea. It's teaching you how to do it. And the fun thing with the game is that they give you opportunities that when you roll the dice, you go around the board, gives you opportunities to decide what you're going to do. A lot like life, a lot like this business. You get opportunities to buy leads, you get opportunities to recruit people, you get opportunities to build a business. And really what you're trying to do is build something that is attractable to some maybe company to buy you one day or give you stock one day or do different things. And what we want to do is help lead you to the path to where that can happen. So in the game, you're going to have these things called small deals, which are affordable to get them. The big deals are better. So you can get big deals. The problem is if you're that janitor and you have no money saved up, you can't afford these yet. So you might as well go with the small deals to help you get to the bigger deals. So we're going to talk about that today. The fun thing with the game too is there's market stuff where you can buy houses and do different things with the market and sell your houses in different businesses. And then there's everyone's favorite, the good old doodads. These are everyday life things that come up, that people have come up. These you don't have options not to buy because in the game you would say, I'm not going to buy that because it hurts me in the game. But the game requires you to buy it because you don't have that self-discipline in your real life not to do it. So just to give you some of the doodads ideas, rumor of layoff, go back to school and add skills, pay $220. Play your luck on the lottery numbers and you lose, pay $100. Oh, you bought some new furniture, pay $300 to replace your old furniture. This is Brian Rojas's favorite one. You get a new boat, pay $18,000 to the bank for your new boat. You know those boat people, they go out there and buy a boat. They're on it every weekend. They invite you out on it. They're super excited, but it's a doodad. It's not creating money. Just go to the ball game, pay $50, different types of things. And it makes you do them. So it cuts into your cash, and it's like all the doodads, what we do every single day. What are the doodads that we do in the board game and really how it affects you. So it's a fun game to play. And really what I'm going to do with these three guys is kind of play the game with them to help them grow their businesses and talk to them. I've talked to them all since conference, NatCon, and they're all super fired up. They want to build big businesses. They want to achieve some stuff. And I know they can do it because they've been working hard for years now. And with this momentum we have as a company, super exciting time no time better than now to kind of go out there and do it. So, John, are you cold, man? It looks freezing out there.
Man, listen, it is about 55 degrees out here, maybe a little warmer than that here in South Carolina. So, no, not cold at all. Actually, it's perfect weather. Get out here and make some money weather right here.
That's what it is. So, tell us, John, kind of give them a little background on you and Nikki, kind of what you've been doing with us in the business, and kind of with this run that we're on and this momentum on, kind of coming out of NatCon. What do you feel like you're trying to do with your business and where you see it going?
Yeah, man. Well, you guys know me, John Beverly here, educated 13 years, got into the business right after COVID, found the Alliance. Man, it's been a game changer for me. Took me a couple of years to get, to figure it out, right? Because I was one of those people that wasn't really all in on recruiting and doing none of that stuff. I wanted to be a seller. So I was all about sell. Didn't care about building, right? But that's the name of the game. Luckily to have get some tutelage from Andy helps me shape and mold my mindset every single week. We were super fired up coming into NatCon because we knew it was going to be a mind-blowing experience. I don't know about the rest of you guys that's on the call, but NatCon just seemed a little bit different this year than the norm, right? I feel like I got so much out of this conference by me just really being all in and listening to, how to make my business better, how to help my agents get better, how to help me as a personal producer. In terms of just the entire thing, man, NatCon was huge for myself as well as for my wife. My wife is now all in. Nikki is all in. So she is super excited now. Where when she got off and we got off the plane, the first thing she did was she called 3 or 4 of her friends and we got them fast tracked, right? So just super, super excited and thankful for the momentum that's going, man. So we're looking to blow this thing up, and the things that we're doing is we're implementing strategies and tactics that I'm working with Andy to kind of help me with in terms of how to help my agents get going and get them going faster, how to grow my business at a much higher rate and a much higher pace, how to invest in myself. Oh my gosh, y'all, that was a game changer for me. Just learning that I have to invest in myself as a agency manager. Yo, that is insane. It's insane. But I knew I had to do it. And that's what we hit the ground running right after our conference was over with, and we're invested. Getting ready to go to, invested in myself to go to the cabin this next go around. So, there's just so much momentum that I have right now and my team that we're super, super excited and geeked up about what's going to happen in 2025. We are definitely going to 10X.
John, talking about that, what you just went on, when you were just talking about and for me, it's always been a game changer and so helpful and everything in the business. But can you talk a little bit more about Nikki and getting Nikki to conferences? Because a lot of people I talk to, they're like, my spouse isn't supportive. How do I get them supportive? How do I do stuff? And there's ways to do it. Don't get me wrong. But when they attend one of our conferences, and it's almost like things change for people, and I can tell with just what you're saying right there with Nikki, there was a difference. Because when you first started, before you brought it up, you're like, I did this more, I got this more, and I was about to say, was it because Nikki was there poking you in the side? Is that why you got more out of it? And then you hit on Nikki. But can you talk a little bit about like having your spouse there with you and what that did for you?
Yeah, it was incredible because she got to actually see the backdrop of NAA. Like, she got to see the inner workings of what we were working so hard for. Like, we always talk about our business, right? But now when she went to NatCon and saw that there were other couples that were doing this thing and were completely immersed in their business, she was like, oh my God, I wish I would have did this 2 years ago or 3 years ago, right? And so getting her around people like Sebastian and LaQuenta and Terry and Tia and having conversations with them about how couples are really the foundational piece of this business. Her mind was completely transformed, and now her thinking about what she wants to do moving forward was pretty much shaped because of going to NatCon. So I would definitely say, if your spouse is on the fence about what we do here, you gotta get them around people. You gotta get them around us at the conferences to kind of help shape and mold what their thought process is of what it is that we do to help your business go, man. And my wife, I'm thankful for her and her enthusiasm. And now, she's on it. She's ready.
It's one of those concepts that Andy's always taught. Like year one, and you had Nikki, that would be 1 + 1. It's like 2, right? That's what most people think. But really what it is, it's 1 and 1, which is an 11. So instead of it being 2, now you guys are 11. Because you're 1 and 1. 1 and 1's 11. And it's the power of 11. It actually multiplies more than that, because having someone like Nikki in your corner, support, like all the different things they do. And there's some people like Mike and Noah Leventovich and me and Angela and different people that we both work in the business. You know what I mean? Now there's other people that have the spouse that takes care of everything. It's all good. It's, you know what I mean? It's a supportive spouse. I mean, they may support you in the business, they may not, they may support you in other ways, but it's still important, both regardless of what the spouse does, that they're there. Because if they want to be in the business, you can get them around people where you work as couples, and they can learn that. If they want to be that supportive spouse and take care of everything at home, take care of the kids, do this, that's fine too, but they still need to be there so they can be around men and women that do that as well. Yep. And we have examples of both, and it's how to build a bit, because it's tough. Like you're away from your house running appointments, you're away from your house building your business, understanding, and there's support staffs and there's support. They can have supportive people, like you were saying with Sebastian LaQuinta, Terry and Tia, with your guys' kids, they're a little bit older, but I mean, like Tia Edwards is for years lined up. I mean, having 4 kids, they've lined up where they've been able to attend these things together, and it's not just, hey, we get in the car and go to the meetings. You know what I mean? It's like there's, when there's 4 kids involved, there's some work behind it, and they can teach you how to do that. And some people are like, I just don't want to leave my kids. I guarantee Tia doesn't want to leave her kids either, but she figures out a way to do it for the better of their family, so they can do the cool stuff they've been able to do and accomplish. And having your spouse meet people similar to them that are doing the things in the business, regardless if it's helping out in the business or helping out at home or both or whatever they're doing, it's getting them around other people similar to them that can help them do that. And that's that power of 11, 1 and 1. So everyone out there, I mean, I'm just telling you, if you have a spouse or someone that you're dating, shacked up with, whatever you want to call it, get them there with you. It is very, very important. It's crazy. It's not just doubling your business. It's not 1 + 1 is 2. It's 11. It is unbelievable, and you can see it in John's voice when he was saying it. I was like, that's perfect. I didn't even tell him to talk about that. You know what I mean? Yep. I actually didn't tell him to talk about anything. I just like, hey, you want to get on the call? So when he talks about it, if he screws up, it's his fault.
It's on me. Yeah, the biggest. She was more so fired up with Noelle talking about, man, her hair is on fire and out of her mind, like that stuff, man. That gets you super pumped up and super excited. And man, I'm thankful just for everybody who poured into us this weekend and poured into Nikki. That's for her to see the vision and things that we have going on, man. She's gonna be a freaking rock star. And I just want to sit back and watch her and help support her like the same way she supported me.
Yeah. And so kind of coming out of there, some of the things you guys talked about, what do you see in the Beverly agency? Like, what are you guys looking to do? What do you guys see you guys do in the next 90 days in 2025 and on? Kind of where's that path leading you guys to go?
Yeah, well, we're fired up about the builder contest. We talked to the group last night about what that looks like. So now we've got the entire team circled around building better. Like, we want to build better. We want to build and get bigger and bigger and bigger in 2025. So now we have agents that are all on board with what it looks like to build a business. And I mean, we're going over what that looks like, what it's going to take. We're doing GS3 meetings now with agents on a consistent basis. So we're getting everybody's goals, trying to figure out what they want to accomplish, and then helping them out with the strategies and tactics to get them there. So those are some of the things that we're really, really implementing now, is the fact that all of our team is on board with building the business, as opposed to just being people who want to go and write. But that's fine. Stability is cool, but we're looking for profitability. And now our entire team his mindset is, how can we be profitable? It's by building a huge agency. So we're implementing things as far as, like, we're using ZipRecruiter. We're using all kind of stuff to help grow our business, help our agents grow to get as big as we possibly can in the next 90 days.
And I'm glad you brought that up, is the builder contest, because I mean we're kind of talking about the game cash flow and how to make it bigger, but Andy has, in his geniusness, has created a game for us, a builder's game, and it's a game. It's you get points, you get different level points, just like in cash flow. You get points, you make money, different money for different things, and the more you do in this game, the more points you get. And ultimately, what it's going to do is it gives you can win a crazy amount of points. If you win it, you can, and it's in different organizations. So, John, you're competing against everyone in my organization, but Mike and Noah Leventovich have their own contest. So someone in theirs is going to win 50,000 points. Someone in ours is going to win 50,000 points. And you're like, well, I'm new. I may have a harder time winning this contest because I'm new. Not true, but let's go with it. There's still 25 tiers of points that you could win. So Andy's kind of created a board, basically created a game for us to play and see who wins. And in the game, you get 10 points for every person that you fast track in the system. So when you guys got landed from the plane and Nikki talked to a couple of her friends, you fast track them yet? Do you fast track them, John?
Yes.
How many of them do you guys do?
We did, 3 total?
So Nikki got you 30 points just like that. Boom. Just like that. Now, if those 3 people end up getting their insurance license and get contracted, you get more point. You get another 10. You get 25 points when you contract them. Now, when they write business, you get dollar for dollar points. So if they write $1,000 in premiums, you get 1,000 points.
Yep.
Now, if they hire someone, then there's multipliers in. You know what I mean? So if that new person hires someone, that multiplies in there, and if they write business, it multiplies by 2. And then if they hire, and the more that you can get your guys playing the game, the better it is to get the contest. But it's crazy in the points that you can go out there and win, and the different stuff that you can go out there to do, really to give you that crazy once in a lifetime trip to Thailand. You know, it can lead you, it can give you a jump start with how many points you have to get that trip for 2 to go to Thailand, and different stuff that you can achieve and stuff. So do you think you're going to finish in that contest, John? Do you think you're going to finish like 10th, 15th? Where you planning on finishing in that contest?
Oh, I mean, we already got momentum. If we already top 3, top 2, why would I want to, be at 15 and 16? No, I'm too competitive for that.
Yeah.
Way too competitive for that.
I've talked to someone once about winning stuff, and they told me they won 3rd place once, and I was trying to figure that out.
No.
So I didn't know I wanted to win like 10th place. You know what I mean?
No, listen, you tell Jared and Rachel, man, listen, I'm coming. I'm coming for the spot.
Calling your shot, and Jared.
I'm coming for the spot. Look, we gonna have fun, but we gonna talk a little bit. I'm coming for Jared and Rachel. We coming. I'm like Dion. I'm like Coach Prime. We coming, baby.
Well, awesome, man. I'm going to come back to you and talk to you a little bit more about some stuff, but I'm going to introduce a couple other of my buddies too. We'll jump over to Michelle Colin Jones, or Michelle Colin, or Michelle Jones. I don't know which one she's going by today, but she's tricky like that. So, but Michelle, same thing, kind of like, give them a little background on yourself, kind of what you're doing, and kind of like what the momentum's building in your team, coming out of national convention, and what you see happening in the next 90 days and then into 2025 for the rest of the year.
Oh, man. Hey, Andy. Thanks for having me on the call. It's always an honor. I never take it for granted. A little bit about me, guys. I'm out of Tampa, Florida. This is it's a happy anniversary. This is the 5th year in the business. My first event was NatCon of 2020. It was right before the world shut down. But prior to this, I was, I went to school. I was promised, the good job, the good benefits, the good. Nobody ever explained to me what that looked like. Everybody wanted you to have experience and this and that, but didn't want to give it to you. So I took a job, doing anything, that had nothing to do with my degree. And I was there putting in my time. And I'm so blessed because my brother, who's always been the dreamer in my family, he attended a meeting, just a hot spot. He met Andy Albright. And, they said, who's the first person you think of, that I think that would be good at this, or who's smarter than you, or who's this and who's that. And he didn't have a license. He didn't have nothing, but he thought about me. And so I always think about that because I'm like, how grateful I am that he didn't wait till he was good to get started. Because if he would have waited, my brother never got good. He never did anything. And so it's like, how cool that it got me here, right? And so after that, I kind of took off, did my first year part-time. You know, I ended up winning the trip to Thailand at that time, which was super cool because, again, I just feel like things are just, the stars are aligning, because how crazy is it that the trip is again to Thailand? COVID jacked it up this time, but won't get us back. But it's, you know, so I won that trip, and then I ended up leaving my job because they didn't allow me to have the days off for that all expensive paid trip. So I put those days in, didn't go back, and it's bananas what this business has done. It's done for me. You know, Cassie, we're not married at that time, but it's gave me the wedding of my dreams. It allowed me to think big enough for her to open up her business. It's, you know, I wanted to be a salesperson, like John was saying before. You know, I was just helping families on the side. It ended up being what I do. And I'm grateful to Big Mike. I'm grateful to Andy Riddle for being patient with me to give me the exposure to want to build something of my own, you know, to want residual income, to see what it looks like. Because you want PTO, but you don't know how you're going to get it. And so when they show you different ways that you're helping people be able to do that for themselves and get free from their jobs, and you get a nice kickback for doing the work, it's like, why wouldn't you do it? And then, like, the other part of this thing, though, is that, you know, who I was 24 coming into this business is not who I am now. You know, we sell insurance, but we are in a personal development game. And where John was saying this convention hit different, and I don't know if it was this convention or the compound of all of the conventions and the compound of the discipline and the compound of the books that you're reading and the day in and day out of what you're doing, but it did hit different. And so I know what my life, like, I know what me and Cassie have in our hands. And so our goal in the next 90 days is to double our business, you know, at least to get us doing 150,000. By 90 days. Goal would be by the end of the year doing $500,000. Like, I want it so bad, and I know it's so doable. And seeing Riddle go partner and seeing all the other partners, it's like now we're closer than ever to the fire. So I know it's doable for us. So yeah, it's going to get crazy. I'm hoping, I still got to work the magic, you know, to get Cassie to bring me to the 11. You know, we're still dripping on her to put into the business, but I'm seeing, John, like what that did for Nikki, I'm seeing it in the couples in my team. You know, I'm seeing them lean in, and we're coming out of conference, and I'm watching people who were like the spouses who were the plus ones just being supportive. Like, you know, they're hiring, they're talking about the business, you know. Kaya, I think, came out of the gate last night. We've done at least three GS3s of one who hired another, who hired another, who hired another. And why is that happening? It's because our team is just, they see the vision, and I'm just trying to figure out like what their goals are so I can help them get their goals and have a vision big enough to put their goals in mine. And so that's really what we're on to for 2025, Andy.
Awesome. So coming out of a national convention and the excitement that you had, what were some of the big takeaways that happened for you? Was there some speaker that said something that slapped you across the face, or was there something that's like, oh my gosh, or what were some of the key things that you just, I mean, I love that it was, I'm fired up coming out of it. I loved it. But what were the things that hit you? What punched you right in the face?
Yeah, I think two things, and they go hand in hand, right? So for those that didn't come to the event, or even those who were there, Damon West, if you think you're having a bad day, think again. You know, you think you've been through some stuff, think again. But what he said, it wasn't even during his talk. It was during one of the questions. He said, like, here's God's line, and this is what God's line is, and He controls this. Don't try to do His job, which is other people's thoughts, other people's feelings. This is, and then he said, this little part, this is your line. And on your line, you only control what you think, what you do, what you say, what you feel. What you think, what you do, what you say, and what you feel. That's your little line. And I found myself, you know, the last couple of years, you know, where your frustration comes from, or where you think it comes from, is you're looking on God's line. You know, maybe this guy isn't doing this, or maybe they didn't do what they said. And it's like, that ain't your line, baby. Your line is what you think, what you do, what you say, what you feel. And if I could find, like, you know, if I can find love in that, and if I can get energized by that part and fall in love with the process, then everything else is going to work itself out. And that part right there, that little line, it tied into Andy Albright's talk. which was a phenomenal talk. And that was day one. And he was talking about, philosophy, activity, attitude, results, and urgency. And that is your little line. So when I think about how I feel or how I think, I'm thinking about that toward my attitude on my activity. And that's all you can control. And the coolest part is we get paid here based on our performance, not other people's performance. If you're not happy with somebody else's performance, it's not go get more, or you do more. And so that part of it, I'm just like, wow, how much more can I do? And if my team can watch me do and become more capable myself, how much more will they do? Not because I'm pushing them or put pressure on them. It's just like they may just grab it by the horns, and that's just what leadership is. So,
yeah. And it's crazy. I mean, if you guys were there, what she's talking about. If you weren't there, she did a dang good job explaining, but it's still not as good as it being there. Just real quick, the Stage to Success early bird pricing still available. I think it's through Sunday. It's for $249. Again, it's going to be in Burlington. It does include meals, so your food will be paid for there. So that ticket price is it's $250 and they're going to pay for my food. I've been to things not as good as what our conferences are and not as focused on you being successful in life and paid way more than that. So, and they don't feed you. This one feeds you as well. And there's just so many things. And this one's just going to be different than some of our other ones too, because we've got the people speaking at it are going to be probably out of their comfort zone a little bit to get a point across, which I think's fun. It was years ago. Andy had me dance on stage, and prior to this, I wasn't a very good dancer, but now I'm professionally trained. So it's a little bit different now, but it was one of those things like I was so nervous for. I actually hired a dance coach and went to dancing classes and had him teach it to me. But some of these, we're going to do some skits and have some fun and have lessons involved in those. And so it's going to be different than the other ones, but it's going to be fun. And so I really recommend you getting the ticket. And the cool thing, the kind of way the mind works and the business works is the momentum the Alliance has going into conference, the momentum we have coming out of national convention. Even if you didn't go and participate in it, when you buy the early bird ticket, it's almost like when you make that commitment, you've joined into that momentum. That momentum, just once you make that commitment, helps carry you through. So you're actually starting it there. So I would get it now. One is because the pricing is the cheapest it's going to be is right now, and two, you once you make that commitment to going and buying that ticket, that moment, it just something changes in your mind that you're part of the momentum in your business too, and helps you jump forward. So thanks so much, Michelle. I'm going to come back to you as well, but thanks for kicking off. All right, I'm going to kick it over to my other buddy, Mr. Brian Rojas. Same thing, Brian. Give him a little background in yourself, kind of what's going on in your business, the momentum that you guys have going, and what's going on with you guys coming out of national convention.
Absolutely, Andy. Thank you so much for having me on the call, along with all these killers on the call. I want you to know I deeply respect every single one of you, and I'm honored. Also, Jane and Andy Albright, thank you so much for the trust. My name is Brian Rojas. I've been with the company now for 7.5 years, going on 8 years, coming up on March. Prior to this, I was actually a professional Uber and Lyft driver. All right. I had the car smelling good. I had great music. I had you, okay? From 6 o'clock to 2 o'clock in the morning, that was all yours, all right? I did have a 9-to-5 work in Medicare supplements for Aetna. And basically what I did there was help seniors with their Medicare supplements that are over age 65. I was frustrated, man. Working a 9-to-5, working Uber and Lyft, I never made over $45,000 in a year. I knew I wanted more. I knew there was more out there. I'm a first-generation American. I saw my parents working hard but never got anywhere. And it's just I wanted not to be a statistic, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? And so thank God a buddy of mine met me at Starbucks one day 7.5 years ago, and he showed me an option. He showed me an opportunity to freedom. And I remember saying, dude, if half of what you're telling me is true, we're getting ready to blow up. And seven years later, man, I think I thank God for the opportunity, because now I'm involved in business with my family, with friends, and meeting new people. And we've made multiple six figures. There are months now where we've made more in a month than I used to make in a year, and that's all glory to God, And the leadership, mentorship that you have given me, that Big Mike has given me, and things that I've learned from getting around. Stronger men, stronger individuals, stronger women, stronger leaders. You see what I'm saying? I'm a product of my environment, and I chose 7 years ago to change my environment. And by changing my environment, I met people like you. I met people like Andy Albright. I got to shake hands with people I was very uncomfortable with doing. But those people slowly and surely started becoming friends and family. And now I'm super happy to be part of the team. You know what I'm saying? So super grateful to be here, bro. You're muted, bro.
Sorry. Coming out of the national convention, I know you have a lot of momentum, and you had a bunch of your guys there and excitement going out of there. What were some of the things that hit you, kind of like what I told Michelle, punched you in the middle, punched you in the face, or punched some of your guys in the face? Your favorite talks, the things that you think you need to change going forward. And
there were so many things, going into. I'm going to be straight. I wish I had the story that John and Michelle had. I was struggling mentally going into convention. And it's God sets up divine appointments for you. Either you need the meeting or the meeting needs you, and I needed that meeting. I needed that event. I remember Jane Albright just grabbing me and talking to me for about 5 minutes, and that made the biggest difference. You know what I'm saying? I remember just watching Adam Katz walking up stage and seeing his team win. And I said to myself, is that possible for me too? I saw records being broken. And I'm saying to myself, can that be possible for our team? I saw my brother walking up stage, becoming a district manager, along with his partner, Annalie Medina. Those type of things, man. Stephen Davies, the one talk that Stephen Davies did, where he was talking about, inconsistency and being sloppy and how to change that and how that takes your power away and how getting, just things of that and different levels of skills that it takes to, I want to say it was persuasion that he was talking about. Those different keys, that talk was huge for me. And then just watching my guys want more, wanted to set higher goals, those things there, man, I think that was powerful for me. That's what I took away from the meeting. The other thing too is that night when you guys walked up stage, it was 6 of y'all, and y'all were announcing that Integrity partnered up with y'all, and just watching you for the past 4 years working your butt off, and setting goals that are way beyond what anybody else can think. And finally getting that small win, and then the next day you're back to working. You didn't stop. Most people would stop. Most people would say, I made it. I made it. Most individuals would say, I got the deal of a lifetime. And seeing the way you're thinking, the way the leaders are thinking, right? It's given me a blueprint of how to do it when I get there. It gives me chills, man, because I'm seeing myself up there already. I'm seeing myself right in the middle where you and Angela were, and it just you're paving the way for me, Andy, for me to see something that I never got to see and say to myself, is this really possible for me? Can I really get here in the next 12 months? And we're choosing to dream higher, to dream bigger. We're allowing the takeover team is allowing themselves to do that. And it starts by Dale Parker, man. Dale Parker has set up a meeting where we met some Corey in Tampa. We met at a Starbucks. Corey brought in Omar, right? And he also brought in this young lady named Natalie. And it's doing stuff like that Dell's doing differently. Fermin brought in Monica from Kissimmee. Jonathan Rojas promoted to DM. Annalie, how they fought to get over 13 people in that event. How incredible. And it's just the fire starting from the top. It's starting from the Riddle organization and from Angela, you know what I'm saying? So just seeing that stuff.
So great job, Brandon. Thank you. So kind of get into everyone always says all this excitement, emotional stuff, all the stuff you got out of it, the rah-rah. Give me the meat and potatoes. You know what I mean? Give me the steak, whatever. So I guess going forward, what I want to talk with you three is kind of what we're going to do to get you guys to another level, what we're going to do to get you guys to where you want to go. How do you get out of these small deals into some big deals?
Boy,
you know what I mean? How do you change that for your business, for your family, for you guys individually, but also guys on your team? You know what I mean? Go and partner. One of the coolest things is just Andy and Jane, ever since I've known them, is they want to be in business with their friends and have the ability for their friends to enjoy the lives they're having. And 6 of us got to be added to that club, and watch what they've said for years and follow through. And for you guys having the same opportunity to follow through with that ability to do so. And ultimately, the cool thing with it is, to keep it simple, it's growing premium. The more premium you can bring to the table, the better shot you got. So how do you get out of the small premium and get to the big premium? Which way are we going to do it? Which way are you going to go? So coming back to you, John, your organization, I know you guys are having a great month as well and have momentum going, but let's talk about ways that we're going to really jump the Beverly organization. Nikki being part of it's a big deal. You know what I mean? I remember having a call with you back in November or December, and you're like frustrated, and I was like, you're up like 15%, right? I was like, usually I get these phone calls when someone's down. It's like, you're up 15%. I was like, I'm glad you're not happy with the 15%, but it's you're not in dire straits,
Right.
So,
right.
Kind of. Let's talk a little bit about how we're going to take the Beverly organization from district managers to regional managers and keep working up that chart and get that crazy momentum, not the 10, 15% that you're experiencing now, which is great, because it is growth, but how we're going to 10X and how we're going to move forward. Let's talk about a little bit of what you guys want to do and what you want to do. And let's talk of how to do it. What do you think you can do to do it?
Yeah, man. We're always vying to find, more people. But I focus a little bit more on the people that I have right now and just trying to pour more into them. So we're doing more training. We're training on phone scripts. We're training on, how to go out and write business, how to book appointments. I think one of the biggest things for us is how can we get 15 agents to book 15 to 20 to 30 appointments a week? You know what I mean? Like, that's one of the things that I wanted to really, really harp on coming out of NADCON. And so we had a meeting last night, and like I said, like Michelle said, now we're doing GS3s to try to figure out how we can reach those goals. So now I'm doing more of that part. Like, that was for me because I was so in on just writing business. Yeah, I was building on the side as well, but now that I'm learning that you can't count your production in your business like that, you got to negate that and then really grow everybody else. So now that's where the focus is how can I find, I know this is going to be, it probably ain't going to happen, but how can I find 10 to 15 more people to do what I do? I mean, or to work as hard as I work, or to put in, just as much premium as I'm putting in. And so now that's where the focus is now. And so we're trying to figure out, like, hey, how do we find those people? Like, where do we find those people? How do we get our downline to find more people to figure this thing out? Yeah, I can get wide. That's one thing. I have no problem with getting wide, but now I need to figure out how to get depth, and that's where I think my plan and my group is going to really explode once we're able to find some more depth in my business or in our business, so to speak. So that's where our focus is now. I know we can get premium. We just got to get more people to get premium.
Yeah. And the cool thing too is, like, what I've always looked at, John, is like I've even been screaming this at Jason and Olga and Terry and stuff. I was like, hey, I'm good finishing first, but I want you second and third and fourth. And I was like, It's okay if everyone else is outside the top 10 and we just take all top 10 spots. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like in this contest for the Thailand points. It's like, if you want to win it, I'm fired up for it. But wouldn't it be cool if you had like, if you had Dawn or Deetra or Caroline just beat Jared and Rachel too? Like you want to beat Jared and Rachel. Well, what if some of the guys on your team beat them too? Wouldn't that be awesome?
Absolutely, 100% will be.
And then the new people you're bringing aboard and different stuff. So it's like that complete domination stuff. You know what I mean? It's available. And looking to do so. What are some of the things that you think you could do better coming out of National Convention? What are the things you think you could do different and better this time in the next 90 days than you did the previous 90 days?
Not be lazy. I'll be honest with you. I haven't always been, the person who was always, working. And I will admit that I work, and don't get me wrong, I work hard, you know what I mean? But I don't work as hard as I possibly should be working, you know what I mean? Whether that's working for my agents, whether that's me being available to help them with whatever they are, to help them get better trained, get organized. Man, being organized is huge. And then the staff thing, man, I got it. I know Brian he texted me a while back, like, bro, you got to get staff. You got to get staff. You know what I mean? So now I'm starting to see that as a business owner, an actual business owner now, that we really going to have to start putting some finances behind that stuff just to take care of the small intricacies, as far as like pending, instead of spending 20, 30, 40 minutes on the phone with pending, you know what I mean? Like, we got staff that can handle that, as far as booking appointments for, finding other agents, stuff like that. Like, I know that I've got to start putting some funds behind that, and that's what we're getting ready to transition to. It's one of the things that I got to work on in the next 90 days. I got to find some staff, man.
Yeah, because honestly, John, if what you're talking about with staff, I think what you're going to see is for a very short period of time, it's going to be painful because you're training them, you're teaching them, and you got to keep your cash flow up. But once you got them kind of doing, and it's not everything they're ever going to do, just getting the basic little task out of your way, and you've taught them how to, the stuff you listed out, it frees you out to do so much more, and it's gonna multiply your income like that. And then once you have more income because of that staff, then you can, when you're playing the game, when you're playing your card, you're adding an expense, but you actually, you may add $500 a week as an expense, but you just added $1,000 extra a week of income.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yep.
And then it's like, now what I do, so you technically grossed an extra $500 that you get to decide where that goes in your business. Now you can buy doodads. You can buy a nicer car. You can buy Brian's boat. You can buy whatever you want to do. Brian doesn't have a boat. I just pick on him because he gets that card like every single time I play with him. So I don't even think he wants a boat, especially after playing the game. I don't think he wants one anymore. If he did, but you get to decide what you're going to do with that $500. You can spend it on doodads. It's funny. It's like if you look at people in corporate America, a lot of times they'll get a raise, and it may be $1,000 spread out over a year. And then once they get that raise, they're so excited they come into work the next day with a new car. Like they spent that raise already, and they haven't got the whole raise. Like you get the $500, and it's like, what are you going to do with it? What are you going to do? And it's deciding what you're going to do and where you're going to place that. Is it into another staff? Is it into more leads? Is it to more recruiting tools that you can get into your business? It's how you get to play the game. And I'm telling you, with the game that Andy's put together with the recruiting game where you can get points, I would be trying to figure out how I can get more of those points. And it's not just for the points. Like it's for the points. Like you get all the points, you get to go to Thailand, you get a better shot to go to Thailand, you get a more. But while you're doing that, you get the business too.
Right.
And ultimately, we're trying to build a business, and he's tricking you with the points, tricking you in a good way, so you can go to Thailand and build a business. You get all the agents, you get all the premium, you get all the overrides, you get all that comes with it, and bonus points for Thailand. It's crazy, and the points that you get to do. And then when you get to getting more overrides coming in, John, now you got big problems because you're making an extra $500 because you're able to sell more. Now you get more, so you invest that into your business, so you're able to find more agents. And now you got more. Now you say you're making another $500 just on overrides more than you were before. Now you're making an extra 1,000 every single week. So you invested the 500 in this. Now what do you do with the other 500 that you're getting on the overrides? And then it's like, you're continually looking for more options. Do you hire more staff?
Yeah.
Do you run more ads? How do you handle it? Do you need to hire someone that's very talented, like a Clay Murtis on your team that can help you? It's problems, but they're good problems.
Great problems to have.
Yeah, you're going to have problems. It's just you get to decide which way you want your problems to go. You know what I mean? Now, let me give you the alternative. You decide to buy a boat. Okay, the boat breaks down. You got an expense. You get stuck at sea. You got to have someone come tow you. You got problems. You know what I mean? The boat runs great. You still have to clean it after you take it in the water. Like, I don't know up there in South Carolina, but down here in Florida, we got salt in our water, and you got to get that stuff off because it will just rot the boat out. You know what I mean? So you got to clean it all out. You got to get that stuff off. Now you got another job because you got to clean the boat. And then you're like, well, then I'll pay someone to clean the boat. Yeah, but you still taking the boat out. Now you got to pay. Or you can put that somewhere else.
Right.
And decide where you're going to put the business and create good problems, or you can have bad problems,
Let me make sure I write this down. Do not get a boat.
Well, you can get a boat. But it is a doodad card, So it's knowing the things in your business that's going to take. And so much of that stuff, Andy's been teaching it for years. He's been saying it to me for years. He's been saying stuff from stage from years. And it's those commitments to those things. And just deciding to go into doing, because a lot of times I think people are like, but if it doesn't work, what happens? What happens is what you're doing now. You know what I mean? It's like, how bad can it be? I don't know. Tell me what your life is right now, because that's what it's going to be. You know what I mean? Well, it sucks. Well, you're going to have more of that.
Right.
Like, so if you do it and it doesn't work, this is what's going to happen. You're living it. But if you do it and it works, let me show you what happens. And if it doesn't work, we're gonna look back and figure out how it was done wrong, how you can do better next time and get it to succeed.
That's right.
It's weird, man. It's crazy.
It's crazy, man.
And with the momentum we have as a company, it's like you just get them around the momentum and people take off. It's kind of like, it's like, if you want to take it into football terms, like, there's more Kansas City and Eagle fans in the world right now than I've ever seen in my life. You know what I mean? It's like, my mom was telling me how she's a Kansas City fan. I was like, you're from New York. I've never heard you say anything about that. I didn't know if you knew there was a team in Kansas City. You know what I mean? But she's a Kansas City fan now. I have no idea how. 2 Super Bowls in a row and being in a third one, I mean, that may have done it. But, it's crazy, and there's a bunch of people like that, but it's momentum. You know what I mean? It's momentum. Not a lot of Jet fans out there right now. You know what I mean? Not a lot of Cleveland Brown fans out. They have no momentum. No one's claiming that. We have momentum. Claim us. Jump on the team. Let's go. Let's go win a Super Bowl. That's kind of where we're at. So, well, cool. Same thing for you, Michelle. Jumping over to you, talking about what are the things you think you can do in the next 90 days to really change your business, to get into the big deals and start take this momentum forward coming out of there? What are some of the ideas you thought you have?
I gotta work directly on my line. What I need to do, seriously though, is I need to keep up my personal development, right? And when we white sheeted, we drew this out. And so the things that's going to drive your business, if you don't know, that's going to be your conference tickets and your lead flow every single week. That's just what it is. There's no other spin to it. There's no other magic. It's your team is going to produce based on the amount of leads that they're taking every week. Can they produce without leads? For sure. Is it going to be inconsistent? For sure. Is it something you can depend on? Absolutely not. And so it's not forcing the people who don't want to do it to do it. That's not what I'm saying. It's finding more people that want to do it or helping them figure out ways to do it. I thought this weekend was pretty incredible. Stephen Davis was like, this is a business. They either find the capital or they create it. And our job as leaders sometimes, like, I think sometimes it's easy if they don't have it to be like, well, come back when you get it, you know? Or it's sometimes even easier to give them stuff, you know, and neither one of those solves a problem, you know, but it's not saying that you can't help your team, but you can help change their thinking. And if you can help change their thinking, everything else is going to fall in line. So my entire goal the next 90 days is to, one, put in more people. That's a given. It's to develop the people that I have. You know, I'm not going to be the magic. Some of them have already checked out listening to me, and that's okay as long as they're plugged into the call. See, that's this power of the team. It's like when we're all saying the same things, there's so much alignment. They might relate to what Brian is saying. They might hear. I could have been saying it for months, and then Brian says on this call what he's about to do, and then they think, Michelle, did you hear what Brian said? I'm like, wow. But you cannot say I said that. You have to be like, yeah, he's incredible, right? Like, what did you get from it? And you're just leverage the team that we have, leverage the momentum that we have right now. And so, right, like, this is the only goal right now. I'm gesturing my new people. It's like, what do you want to do? This is what it's going to take. And then if we don't have what it's going to take, it's up to us to figure out how to get there, if that's what they really want. You know, and I'm having so many of those calls, and just kind of, I'm trying to be what you are to me, Andy, which is, what Andy and Jane are. It's just that exposure. Like Terry said it on stage, like, we are the light. We are the proof to our team that this business works. So it's our job to show them what it's going to take to get there. Now, the people who don't want to do it, that's fine. That is totally fine. I'm going to help you get whatever you want. But for the people who want to build this thing massive with me, I know that it's going to take, if I want 100 people at conference, it's not going to take me bringing 100 people. It's me bringing my 20, you bringing your 20, you bringing your 20, you bringing your 20, somebody bringing 2, somebody bringing 1. Like, we say this thing in our group, we just want points on the board. Like, everybody you're putting points on the board. That's how you show up for your team. It doesn't matter if it was $1 toward the premium, 1 lead that you bought, you put points on the board for our team. And so for the Alliance team, as we grow these conventions, if we want more people to get after it, it's like, are you putting points on the board? Did you bring 1 more person? Did you introduce them to this guy? Did you leverage it enough to put 1 more point on the board for you? And that's what's ultimately going to grow your volume, is what's going to put us up higher. And that's, guys, why do you want to grow? What's in it for you? And I think about that sometimes, where Riddle's like, you get all the points. It's like, yeah, you do get the points. You do get the all expense paid trip, given. You do get all of your commission, given, right? But also, if you are the number 1 guy on your leaders team, you get more of their time. If you get more of their time, and if you can help your leader become the number 1 person on their team, they get more of the higher leader's time. So we get access to more resources. You get access to different things. I'm telling you, you just level up your business. So me being like, John is talking about, he's going to be the number 1. I'm like, easy now, John. You know, there's not easy now. You know, easy now, Jared. Because, like, here's the deal: is like, I know what being number one does with the amount of attention that my team gets from him, and I know what his attention has done for me the last 2 years. So you're damn right. I want my team to get more of his time, and if I can get more of his time, I naturally will get more of Andy Albright's time, because Andy Riddle wants to be number 1. And Riddle Nation will be number 1. And so, it's just putting points on the board. And you want to do that. You want to be part of it, because it's going to happen without you. We're going to win without you, but I'd rather win with you. And so, yeah, I'm fired up out of my mind.
So a couple things there. And you're talking about, like, getting your guys around the team and the things. It's funny, while you're saying that, you're talking about this thing Stephen Davey said. and it's me getting you around Stephen Davies and him saying something. I'm like, I didn't even have to do it. I just leave it up to Davies to tell them. And if they don't like it, it's Davies' fault. And if they do like him, I'm like, cool, I got you around Stephen. So it's it's that power of the team, because you just never know. I remember Adam Katz years ago, in one of his talks was talking about if I knew the meeting and the talk it was going to get you to light that spark to get you going, that's the only meeting and only talk I'd have you listen to. But I don't know which one that is. And it's so you need to be at the ones to get that momentum going. And then even once you've had momentum going, kind of Brian talked about it a minute ago, Brian's had great momentum. They had a great year in 2024, but he was beat down, at the end of the year. He's worn out, worn down. And there's things to it. He had a baby. You know what I mean? Anyone ever have a baby? You have a newborn, you're sleep deprived. I'm just telling you, that does not help. I was warning Brian, too, for the entire time. I was like, bro, I'm telling you, it is not going to get easier when that baby born. I'm telling you, he's like, nah. It's his first kid, just so any parents out there, it's his first one. So he's like, nah, it's fine. Crystaline's going to do this. Nothing's going to change. That's kind of the mindset. Like, Michelle, you've seen it when I've had these conversations with him. He's like, no, it's going to be fine. Nothing changes. And then he has the baby and everything changes. You know what I mean? Everything changes. And burning at both ends, was they always say the candle at both ends and worn down. But it's that team. It's the team you're talking about, like whatever talk it is, being around the team, having that support system, having people. And that's where it's crucial. You know what I mean? And it's crucial for Brian and Crystaline in the sense of Terry and Tia have 4 kids. They've gone through that stuff. You know what I mean? Now, Tia would have told them too, like, dude, your first one going to be different. But from there, so Brian, kind of the same thing for you, kind of leading into it when I'm picking on you about having a kid and not thinking it's going to change anything. But from the meeting, what are the things that you see you and your team doing and changing going forward into 2025?
Yeah, Andy. So, no, it's not picking, bro. It's just stuff. You don't know what you don't know. You know what I mean? And it's kind of like when Albright was talking about, like, getting into alignment, like being coachable and doing all this stuff. Like, I don't know the briars, I don't know the potholes, I don't know the stuff that I'm getting ready to go into, but you've been there. Andy Albright has been there, and you guys have dealt with it. I've never dealt with having a child. You've done that stuff. You've seen where it takes you out. You've seen where not planning and not scheduling and not being prepared takes you out. And so it's like, it's those things that I don't want to hear, but I need to hear, because it's good for my soul. You know what I'm saying? And so it's those things that, like, if you're humble enough to listen to that coaching, even though, man, we've had some strong conversations the past couple of weeks, and it's conversations I probably don't want to hear, but it's conversations I needed. You know what I mean? And it's things that, like, I was doing or things that I wasn't doing that can potentially make me go out of business. And it's things that I got to be careful for. And it's, dude, these are the red flags. Do whatever you want. I'm just telling you, this stuff will take you out of business, all right? And so when we're talking about business and what we're doing, man, I always take it back to, like, that one night. I'll never forget this. This was like a pivotal moment. And I think Michelle knows what I'm getting ready to go into. I always take it to that one night in the infamous Epicurean Hotel in Soho, where I thought I was invested heavily and aggressively in my business. I was dropping anywhere from $1,000 to $1,500 a week in leads. And we had just done a hotspot. It was awesome. We were lit. And you invited us to go to the hotel because you wanted to chat. It was like a hoot owl. And it was just me and Michelle and I, and we were sleeping. I mean, it was like 2:00 at night. We were so sleepy. And at some point, you said you got to start learning how to invest in your business to grow your business. And we're frustrated. I'm like, dude, what else can we do? Like, we're dropping $1,500 a week in leads. I'm like, yeah, that's not investing in business. I'm like, whoa. It was like almost a slap in the face, because here we are, we thinking that, like, investing in leads is investing in business. And that's just not, like, it's not the same. It's not the same. And so if we're playing cash flow, right, it's like saying, you're buying stock to grow passive income. Buying stock does not grow that passive income. What buying stock does, right, it actually just grows your cash flow so that then you can invest in those big deals so that you can grow your passive income. And here's where like a lot of us get caught up, man, trying to invest in the stock and thinking that that's growing our business, man, and teaching our guys that, going through that stuff, Andy. Right now, we're looking at things like, I just had a meeting with my assistant yesterday on, we need to bring more staff so that you can start delegating the things that you know that you need to be delegating, so you can move over on this side with me, because here's where I'm going to need you. So we need to start looking into other staff for that. How about having a space so that the team can dial in? That's important for camaraderie. That's important so that like they can all get together, because again, either they need the meeting or the meeting needs them, right? And so like this is one thing that I've learned from you: a rising tide raises all boats. And so like just recently, 3 weeks ago, we had a guy that's not even from our group, right? Eric Hassard, shout out to Eric Hassard. 2 weeks in, came in with 40 appointments a week, put his head down and embarrassed the hell out of everybody. We've been preaching this for years, Michelle and I. Book 40 appointments, sit 20, sell 10, baby. 3-2-1 method, right? And here you go, there's one guy that was just, he listened to Joseph Dukes and to James and Pamela Lara. He went in there, booked 40 appointments, sat 15, sold 9,000, found a $1.2 million annuity. I mean, dude, if that won't change the standard in my organization, those are the things. And so like doing stuff like that, Andy, like those are things that we're doing, that we're focusing on here in the next 90 days to be able to explode, And so when somebody like Eric brings results, when somebody like Johnny, who writes $43,000 in a month, $28,000, $38,000, and then he has another leg that's doing $32,000 a month, you know what I'm saying? Unique writers is those standards that we're just trying to raise and show other people, hey, it's possible for you. If he did it, you know what I mean? So
you talked about staying in line and being in line with like Andy and Jane. It's something. It was years ago. I wish I remember when it was, but I remember the conversation like it was yesterday. And I'm sitting at Andy's desk in his office, and he takes out a piece of paper and he draws this. And he goes, "This is me, this is you, and this line is what I'm doing." And he said, I can tell you the example he used. And then he starts drawing it, and he goes like this. He goes, "You follow the line, and then you make a decision and go way over here." And he goes, "Now, you do come back." He's like, "You don't go crazy." He goes, "I know you're loyal to me. You like me. You'd listen to me. You go a little bit over here and then come back." And the example here was, this is years ago. So this is back when we started doing annuities, Brian. Wow. When I first started, we did not have annuities. And this is when Andy brought on like annuity carriers, and we had the bill. And he's like, "So you follow." And I bring in this new thing called annuities, and you don't do it right away.
Oh boy.
He's like, you don't tell your guys about it. You just keep doing what we're doing. You don't make the change. You don't do this. And they're like, "Shoot, we should start doing annuities." And he says, all that does is cost you time and money. This space right here that you created is time and money.
Wow.
So this time and money that I wasted, I could have had start down here if I would have just been in line. And then he goes, then you're in line, and then you have something else come up, and you're like, I'm so smart, I'm smarter than Andy. And you go over here, and then he goes, then you get a realization, and you come back, and you wasted more time and money. And then he's like, the more you can stay in line, the more time you save and the more money you make.
It's huge.
And I remember him drawing this like yesterday, dude. So it's like, if you're thinking like, when he started talking about seminars, I'm like, how can I get to that meeting? How can I get in that meeting? What can we do with seminars? It's every point of what we do in a company. It's like, how can I say what Andy's saying? And it's How do I stay what he's doing? What we're doing right now, we have the builders contest going on. How can I win this game?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, and he's created it into a game. So people want to win the game, but really when you win the game, you're staying in line with what Andy's telling you to do to build a business. And if you say, this game's just dumb, I'm not going to do that, I'm going to do this, it's fine. But that may be your decision, that you're going away from what we're doing. And then you come back and it's like, I'm going to start the game. And you wasted time and money. You know what I mean? Or I'll win Thailand just by selling. I'm not going to do this. I don't need the 50,000 points. Or I don't need the, whatever point level they would hit. I don't need that because I'm just going to sell. I'll get it anyways. And that might happen. But what they don't get is the business. They leave that part around because they're not staying in the line. I don't have time for a petty little game. All they want to do is play games. It's not staying in line, and it costs you time and money. And you look back, you look back at businesses and look back at my business, your business, whatever it is. It's like, where's the spots that you've gone off that line? Mm-hmm. And have you come back? And when you come back to it, where are you at? And what did you waste?
Time and money.
Every single time. It's dead on. And it's being around him, listening to what he's saying, listen to what he's doing, because it's always like I get a lot of calls too. It's like, hey, I want to do a contest for my team. I was like, make it the exact same as Andy's contest. No, I'm thinking about doing something different. Okay, make it the same as Andy's contest. No, every time you do something different, it's time and money. Yeah,
it's something that you said as part of that, one of those strong conversations that you and I had. You said, dude, when in doubt, copy me. And I'm like, damn, why didn't I think of that? Like, that makes so much sense when you put it that way. And like, when in doubt, yeah, just copy them. Like, yeah, that would have made a lot more sense. You know what I mean? And it's those things, Andy, that like, do that long enough, it'll take you out of business.
Yeah, because you're going to get frustrated. You're like, it's not working for me. I'm in line right now. But you got to look back and it's like, were you in line 6 months ago?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Is that this momentum? Everyone's passing me. I got passed. Jerry and Cassie Burbage are on like a heater right now. You know what I mean? It is like on a heater, and they got some more stuff coming. I'm just like, oh my gosh, the people they're passing, and it's good timing. Good timing, for them. Good big things could happen. It's like, how do we ride this heater and not screw it up? You know what I mean? How do we stay in line on this heater and keep it going? And it's Jerry, mine, and Cassie's job, just make sure we don't screw it up. You know what I mean? But it's staying in that course, staying in that line. Some of the things I talked to Andy this morning about in their business, I'm like, I don't understand everything he's saying, and I don't need to. I just need to stay in line. Because here's the one thing I know about Andy and Jane. He's going to make mistakes. He's human. But when he makes a mistake, if you're in line, he corrects them too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which is the craziest thing. It's like he makes it right. So if you're not in line, you're the correction. No one's there to help you in the correction. But when he has it's corrected. And it's funny, dude. I remember sitting at his desk and him drawing that on a piece of paper. And God, it's got to be 15 years ago. I guess we could look back to see when we started doing annuities, because that's about it was shortly after we did it, because I wasn't in line with that. That was his example. And dude, it's something that I've carried with me, because I'll still to this day, he'll bring out something, roll something out, and it's just like, I don't think that's going to work. And you got to fight those voices, those voices in your head. It's the voices and it's different levels in different spots. You know what I mean? You could have made a decision because you were beat down and stuff. I don't need to go to Dallas. I've been to a bunch of these. I'm worn out. And tell me what that decision would have done in your business. Would have wasted time and cost you money.
It would have done nothing, and that's the scary thing. It would have done nothing.
Yeah. You'd been right where you were at.
And I would have not known that anything's happening. Whereas we went, and the things that I saw my team doing, the way they invested. Dale Parker threw out like almost $1,000 in Bang Bang leads when they were half off. We had two girls from Vegas, over $1,500. We were just, bro. You guys say you say it. Emotional decisions are done at these events, right? And now once we made that decision, character, the ability, to keep what you said, what you were going to do, even after the emotion and the feelings are gone. And those are the things, because of those decisions, right? That like this team is getting ready to go bananas. And we're looking for more. I mean, we're preaching people that like want to do more, people that want to hit that 40,000 mark, people that want to recruit, people that want to build something, people that are sick and tired of being sick and tired, Andy.
So let me say this.
Hit him.
Be in line with Andy. If you stayed for the whole conference, he was talking at the end about the decisions and making the decisions and how he's created the life that he's got by making emotional decisions at big events, making decisions there. The early bird tickets are good through Sunday. Okay, so you got till Sunday to do it. Now, what's going to happen is something's going to happen on Sunday when you're waiting to that last tick to get that ticket in on the early. Because I'm gonna hold on. Go buy it now. Because two things are going to happen to you. One is you make that commitment and you're going to join the wave of the momentum because you've made that commitment. And two is you've eliminated all those things. Oh, I forgot to do it. Oh, I forgot to do this. Oh, I forgot to do this. Just go get it now if you haven't got it now. Make that commitment now to get that ticket and things will set. I'm not saying your life's going to be changed instantly, but you're setting a path for your life to be changed. And most people that haven't bought the early bird ticket, that's how they've lived their life up to this point, is like, I'll wait, I'll put it off. And they wonder why things aren't happening for them. Make this the time where you change that thought that you have that you're going to put it off or you're going to wait to the last moment, and just do it right now. You do it right now. I'm telling you, it will start the momentum to changing things that you do. And then it's like, what's the next decision? I'm going to start dialing on Monday. Okay, start dialing right now. Start dialing right now. Why wait till Monday? You know what I mean? Some people love starting things on Mondays. I don't know. I don't get it. You know what I mean? It's like, start today. It's Wednesday. Well, it's almost 2:00. It's too late to start. No, it's not. No, it's not. People answer the phone at 2:00. They'll answer the phone at 3:00. Probably even better than it is in the morning. I see no better time than to start now. I see no better time to start making the right decisions that people were saying at this weekend that led them to success. No better time to talk to someone that you want to recruit. No better time to talk to the person that you don't want to recruit. No better time. Right now. Let's start doing the things now instead of pushing them off, or wait until tomorrow, or wait till Monday, or wait till Sunday to buy your ticket. If you can do it right now, it's going to start that path of changing things that you do. And when you start Andy told me, I think it was the same meeting when he drew that line. He's like, the reason you're at where you're at is because of the decisions you made up to this point. You don't know how you look into your pictures took. That's what he means. And it's like, I don't like how my business looks. I don't like how my finances work. You need to start changing the things that you do. The decisions that you make, the little things. I've read somewhere the other day, it's like, it's not that one big bad decision you make that takes you out. It's the bunch of small little ones that do. And I'm telling you, these little ones of waiting the last minute for stuff, waiting till tomorrow, waiting till Monday are the things that mess people up. Just do it now. I kind of would love to see like the where we almost shut down the website when we're all buying them when they announced it on Saturday. Shut down the website right now. Let's see if we can shut down the website. Let's challenge Robbie and the team, see if they can keep the website up. You know what I mean? I'm up for the challenge. Let's shut them down, But it's doing things immediately, because once you do it, the bad stuff that's still there. It's just not as loud. It's quieter. So, John, coming back to you, man, what are some things that you and your team think, listening to these two, that you may implement and talk to your guys and do? Anything you want to wrap up with, my man?
Yeah, no, I mean, just listening to both of these guys talk, I see where we are as a team and what we need to start doing more of, which is spending more money on leads to get more appointments to write more premium. You know what I mean? Like that's the game. You know what I mean? And I know for me personally, I've got to set the tone with that. So I'm going to start doing that, implementing that, because I need for my agents to see me active.
And then when you get the money, you don't buy a boat. You don't buy a boat.
Facts. So it's just leading by example, man.
Buy some of these. Buy some big deals.
Yeah, that's right. Right.
Don't do
right.
these. Do these.
And here's the thing, John. It's not like, say you wanted a boat. I don't know if you ever wanted a boat. I'm not a boat guy, but if you were, it's in the book. It teaches you, like, if the boat costs, I don't know how much a boat costs. And on the doodad card is 20 grand. Okay. So if the boot, and these cards are a little outdated. I know inflation's gone up a lot since the cards were made and stuff, but if you're going to buy the boat, what they teach you in the book is take that money that you're going to buy the boat with, invest it in a business, which for you is your business is bringing on agents, hiring agents, finding agents, and create a business that could pay for the boat. Because say the payment on that boat's $500 a month. If you create a business that makes over $500 a month, or you recruit an organization that brings you in more than $500 a month, that pays the boat. When the boat's paid off, you still have that business. So I don't want people to think, oh, I gotta live bare minimum forever and never accumulate stuff. No, you just got to start accumulating stuff like how smart people do it. You know. Yeah. Through businesses, not spending your money, not spending the stuff that you do. It was with Brian the other day. We were talking about one of his guys, and it's a brand new guy that got like a check, and I was like, "What do you do with that money?" And he's like, "Probably paid his rent, probably paid this, probably paid this." I was like, "How much he put towards leads?" He's like, "None." So we're right back to the same circle. We're right back to the same. Now, I don't know if he would have listened to Brian. I don't know if he would listen to Stephen Davies at a conference, but I don't know when he's going to hear somebody that changes him. So if we could get him to do right things, if Brian could get him to take some of that $500 and use $50 towards leads, he made a right decision. We got one thing right. Now, would it be better if he spent $500 on leads? Yeah, it would be. But it's like, how do we just get him to make kind of a better decision than not? And then lead them to the next one. And it's like the early bird pricing. It's like, it only goes up $100 or $150. That don't matter to me. I'm like, really? Then give me $150 right now. I'll take 100. Like, if anyone wants to give me money, or you can give me $10, I'll take it. I'm not going to turn it down. You know. So, all right, Michelle, what do you got? What do you want to wrap up with? What do you think?
Yeah, this whole time, I mean, this call has been so good, but I can definitely, if I'm a new person and I'm like, okay, I don't want to confuse you, because I know you heard us say like leads are an investment in your business, and then we're also saying get more leads. And so I can see somebody being like, and so, and a lot of times when you don't know what to do, you just won't do either. You know, you just will stop doing all of it. And so like what I'm saying, or what we're saying, you know, is like leads are the entry of admission. Like, you're not in this business if you don't have any. Like, if you don't have any people to talk to, you're not really selling insurance. Like, that's what you have to understand. It's kind of like when people are like, oh, I just work super hard. It's like, well, yes, we need hardworking people. That's the price of admission, because hardworking people won't last in this business. Like, if you're not working hard, you just won't last, you know? So what we're saying is like, you need leads to create money. So that way you can go travel. So like, you can go travel, you can go get staff, you can invest in people. And like, it's not that you drop your whole paycheck in people, but it's getting them books to read. It's exposure to different things. You need the money so you can get these big deals. So that way, so this, you know, I know you've heard Andy do the talk multiple times. It's like that agent, if it's a house, you know, like this is how you get the house to be a duplex or a hotel or all that kind of stuff. That's how you invest in people. It's going to see them. It's working with them. They need leads though to work. So I'm hoping to just kind of clear the confusion on there. But guys, there's just no better way to start. And for people who are wanting to build and maybe just scared, like, hey, I don't have the money yet. Okay, we'll get to work and create it. But in the meantime, if there's people that you're thinking about, you're just like, man, I know this girl could be good, or I know this guy could be good. I just want to show them my paycheck first. I just wanted me. It's just like, if you could put you aside for 1 second, right? Like if we're on a schoolyard and you're playing a football team, or, and is there somebody that's faster than you? Is there somebody that's stronger than you? Is there somebody who's played football longer than you? Like, you don't have to wait until you get good to tell them, hey, we're playing a game here. And what's cool about it is that sometimes when that person is better than you, like, again, the person who hired me didn't get started, didn't have a license. And so you can throw the opportunity and then you leverage the team. There's no better time than when you're new. That's when the least amount is expected of you. We're not expecting you to go coach. We're not expecting you to know everything. We're not expecting you are a scout. You see talent, you send them to the team. The team will help them grow. And if it's for them, if it's for them. Then if it's not, it's not. But there's no magic sprinkle that makes them. And there's nothing that you can do. Even if you're good at this business, it doesn't necessarily mean that your buddy will be. So waiting doesn't do anything except prolong the amount of money that they could be making in the meantime. And I'll be damned if somebody else held back my income to wait if they're good. The smart people are going to base it on the opportunity, not based on your results. And just to be clear, you are not your results. Your results are coming. You are growing. So where you are right now is not where your business is going to be. So if you just understand that concept and understand that, like, this is a get rich for sure, not a get rich quick. We're not saying, hire 5 agents and those 5 agents you're going to go partner. We're saying it's the law of large numbers, and you're going to find incredible people along the way, and you're going to develop good people along the way, and just to get after it, because this wave is huge right now. And so you grab your ticket because 90 days from now, you're going to be a different person. And you want to grab an extra ticket because 90 days from now, you're going to have somebody with you. We're not saying drop your whole paycheck and pay for them. We're just saying just commit to knowing that you're going to be here. Hold yourself to the standard. And I mean, I can't wait to see everybody grow 90 days from now.
Michelle, going back to that, if where you're talking about what leads do to get you more cash, can you imagine playing the game and you're the janitor? Okay. Mm-hmm. So when the janitor has less expenses, the janitor's total expenses are $950 a month, a week, or every paycheck on this game. So it's $950, but his income's $1,600. So when you subtract that out, it makes $650 every paycheck. Okay. Could you imagine if you had the janitor's expenses, but the doctor's income? That's what leads do. Could you imagine if you got to play the game with the doctor's income and the janitor's expenses?
My goodness.
How much better would you be at the game?
Incredible.
How hard would you be to beat? So what leads do in this business is it gives you the ability to have your expenses now, but the crazy income. And then when you have that huge disparity, you can invest more, grow faster, and build a huge business. Or you can buy a bunch of boats. It's your choice.
Yep.
Yep. Cool. Thanks so much. You did a great job on that. Hey, Brian, wrap it up here. Take us home.
Guys, we talked about it. There's an all Christian song that says, "I don't know what to say that hasn't already been said. I don't know what to write that hasn't already been read. I don't know what to sing that can move your heart." But look, let me tell you something. Riddle Nation knows where it's going. All right? Tag along. All right? The Alliance knows where it's going. Tag along. All right? If you don't know what to do, okay, if you're plugged into this call right now and you don't know where to start, ask for help. The next 90 days, all right, it's going to be game-changing. The stage to success, right? Everybody needs to be in Burlington, North Carolina. Get your ticket. Talk about a hotel. How are you going to get there? Arrange babysitters. All this stuff matters, y'all. All this stuff matters. And I'm excited for the future. What my eyes have seen is nothing to compare to what God has planned for this organization, for the Alliance. And I'm excited for Michelle, for John Beverly, for Andy Riddle, for Andy Albright, for everybody, for the cast team. I'm excited for everybody because right now we're on a high, and baby, we're going to get it. We're going to get it, man. So proud of y'all. God bless y'all. We are out.
Thank you, guys. And again, like Brian said, everyone in the Alliance is on it. There's so much growth going on. Take part of it. Get your teams part of it. Get you part of it. Jump on this wave. It's going. We're going places. Love you guys. See you next week.